All right, so we're going to be doing a prediction on the 26th, 27th, the next season's Premier League, where these teams are all going to finish. And we're going to get it right. We're getting it right. All right, so Arsenal. Arsenal will not go back-to-back. Arsenal were very lucky to win the league, in my opinion. You look at other seasons when they got, the Liverpool Man City rivalry, so it's like 99 points, 101 points, 95. They're in the 90s, they're up there convincingly. Arsenal only had 85. Look, 85, it's a lot of points, but for a 38-game season, I don't know, all the goals, barely scraping 1-0 wins and just playing defensive football, and all the goals relying on your big boppers like your Salibas and your Gabriels just to... Yeah, I think for a Premier League winner, their squad wasn't... I don't think their squad was just as good as other ones, and I think if other teams had performed the way they should have, Arsenal would not have won. They almost bottled it to Man City. For that, I'm going to put them in the top 6. Aston Villa. Interesting team. I think they've actually had a couple big players sold. They got Morgan Rogers, just went to... Where did he go to? Morgan Rogers he went to Chelsea. Yeah, 117 million. Yeah, that's right. It's a mega fee. Aston Villa also, I don't know if it's confirmed, but Luca Dean is potentially packing his bag to go to PSG after this World Cup campaign. Their squads, Aston Villa's an interesting team, and I think their players, they make good buys, and they generally do well. I think Aston Villa could even finish top 2. They won't win, but they could convincingly will be up there. Based off the players and the coach, Unai Emery, very, very good coach. Very well driven. I'm going to put them... I'll put them behind Arsenal for a 4th place finish. Although I think they could upset a lot of... It could upset a lot of people and a lot of teams if they make the right buys, if they get players in for the ones they've sold. Now, Bournemouth's the next one, obviously. Bournemouth had a very, very good season. I think they're going to find it hard to adjust to a new coach. Not saying their coach will, not saying Marco Rose is going to do bad, but that's the coach they've got in replacement. But Bournemouth, again, like you look at your Brentford it was a couple of seasons ago, Brentford finishing just outside Europe, like in your Sunderlands who are like finishing 7th, and usually after they have one good season like that, they'll have a mediocre season. I don't know, I just feel like with the squad they have, they got a good squad, but I don't think it's strong enough to go back to back. And I think with how well some of them are playing as well, your Junior Krupi, he will be lucky. They'll be lucky to keep him. Very, very lucky to keep him. And I think they're gonna get lucky. Alex Scott. There's a lot of people who could be sold. And yeah, based off, talents and players getting sold, I don't think the players they bring in are gonna adjust that quickly. I think they're gonna be fighting for points late in the season. They'll finish middle. They won't finish near the bottom. But they'll finish in the middle. Bournemouth, Brighton. Now, Brighton's it's an interesting one because Brighton does really, really well against a lot of the big 6 teams, generally in the past. And then they've got a good track record against Liverpool recently, actually. Oh my gosh, Liverpool fan. Nah. But Brighton, their squad's interesting, but it's not amazing. There's not too many players that stand out a whole bunch. They just seem to work good as a team, and they just have, they've got this certain aura, this certain way. But yeah, their squad isn't, they're just pretty mid if you ask me. I think Brighton will finish. I think that they'll finish near the they'll finish near the bottom. I think they won't get relegated. I don't think it'll be that close. I think they'll. I'd say the score. Oh, yeah. It's hard to say as well because the teams are all getting better. They're all getting more money and they're all producing more talent. And it's not like it used to be as one-sided with the big six before. Now it's all teams are competing. All teams have good players. All teams, clubs like their pathways are just starting to excel. Yeah. So, but with all the other signings, I think Brighton may need to make a couple really big signings, but they're going to finish near the bottom. Brentford. I rate Brentford highly. I do. I think for their squad, I think bringing in Kelleher, massive transfer. They seem to be making the right transfers. Now losing your Ivan Tonys and your Ian Wisser leave, I believe he has. Yeah, I think Ian Wisser's even left. But you know, they somehow always have a player that is just performing exceptionally. Whether it's Tony, whether it's who else was there? Mbumo left, bloody Wisser. Now they got Igor Thiago, who's on point. I don't know. I see them. They'll finish the middle. Oh, yeah, they'll finish in the middle. They're not going to be top six. And actually, now saying that, I think, no, Bournemouth will stay there. But yeah, they've just got a lot of. I don't know. They got good talent, and they've got potential to do very well. Their squad is actually, I think, their physical side. Like your Jordan Henderson's. You got Kevin Sharder. What a bloody frame he's got on him. And players that but they'd make some random transfers. So I don't know. Anyways, Chelsea. Yeah, another interesting Big Six team. Chelsea just signing, as mentioned before, signing Morgan Rogers. They also have the tendency, they just spend a lot of money and perform extremely shit. Now, looking at their squad that they've got, I still think they've got a lot of talent and they're performing. Like, you got Reece James is starting. Wouldn't say he's exceptional. He's had a lot of injuries. Malo Gusto, starting this morning, was doing all right. Malo Gusto's always been all right. Enzo Fernandez, they've got it. Their midfield is where they'll thrive. If their midfield's having a good day, they'll have a good day. But their squad is good. Their squad is very good. Pedro Neto on his day, very deadly. Chelsea, I think, will have a good season if they click. I think they're gonna have a good season because a lot of their players, I don't know, they're just you just got this sense that if Chelsea are on, and if they can be on for the whole season, they could finish very highly. I think they'll finish above Arsenal. I think they'll finish second. It's a big call. But based off their squad and their danger when they're on their day, the only problem would be keeping the consistency. If they can keep the consistency, they're gonna do well. All right. Next two, we have Coventry. Just getting promoted. Gotta love life. But into the big league now. And, that's right. Good old Frankie Lampard's the coach. God. Anyways, I don't think Coventry are going to do well. They need to make a lot of signings. There's, I don't know, a lot of teams when they come to the Premier League struggle to stay up. You see, like in recent years, it's been all the same three teams that get promoted, will go up, come back down, go up, come back down. I think Coventry is going to be one of those. Coventry, I think, will finish dead last. Actually, no, we'll go. No, they're getting relegated again. They're not staying up. I'm sorry, commentary fans, but no, they're not staying up. I just don't see any world where that is possible. Now, Crystal Palace. They're not finishing top 6. They're obviously not winning. I think they're going to be near the bottom again. And here's why. I think they're going to get a lot of players they're going to get some players that are going to leave, some big players. Players like Saar. I think Saar's going to go. Jorgen Strand Larsen. Oh, no, he only just signed. No, he'll be staying. They made some pretty good signings, but I think, Saar's one of the bigger factors with Crystal Palace. And I think after especially his danger at the World Cup, Saar's going to leave. A bigger team would be lucky to have him. And apart from that, they've got some attacking threat. Adam Wharton's, again, I think they'd be lucky to even keep him. But I just don't, with their squad, and you look at other squads with, the average decent player, Crystal Palace will be near the bottom. They're going to be near the bottom for sure. Not really much more needs to be said about that. It's Crystal Palace. Now, next is Everton. I do not like Everton. I don't like them. The wrong Merseyside team. And that's a fact. That's for sure. Now, David Moyes is coaching. Obviously, the heart of the team, Jordan Pickford, does a lot for them. But they're generally a hit and miss team as well. Now, based off next year, I don't think they've got enough threat up top to be able to make a stand on the table to start climbing, and I can't see them. They got Njai, and that's pretty much it for the attacking wise. Beto on his day. Oh, he's all right. They don't look too threatening. I think Everton's a very boring club too. Everton, they'll be near the bottom as well. They're just not. They're going to struggle. Fulham are all right. Their squad, from what I remember, I'm trying to think who they actually have, but their squad generally does. Yeah, they're pretty hit or miss. On their day, again, I say this a lot about all these teams. But on their day, it's some teams just have it and some just don't. Fulham do have it on their day when they perform, but they're just hit and miss. You see them pulling out big results in games against Liverpool. Can't remember too many other fixtures last year, but they seem to pull off some weird results, and they seem to lose some weird results, some weird games. So very hit and miss. But I think Fulham have potential to finish mid-table. I don't think they're going to be any higher mid-table, and they'll finish above. No, they won't finish above Bournemouth. Oh, yeah, they will. They're going to finish above Bournemouth. Yep. Mark my words. As I said, this is all going to unfold, and this is how it's going to look. Now, moving on to the next, Hull City. Hull City getting promoted. Again, it's with a lot of teams when they get promoted, they just don't seem to have what it takes to stay up, and they stay up it's. Again, if the Championship is possibly the hardest league to get out of, just the number of games, the quality, it's a lot of those teams could compete Premier League, but a lot couldn't. But even when they get to the Premier League, they have to make a bunch of signings. Otherwise, they're just not gonna. Yeah, I think Hull City. I can't see. To be honest, I can't see any of these the promoted teams staying up. I think Coventry are. No, I just can't. I think Hull City will finish very, very bottom. And it's just the lack of quality in their squad. Like up to Premier League standard. It's just I can't see how it's gonna. Yeah. Now who's next after Hull? Got Leeds. I don't mind Leeds as a team. I don't mind them, you know. Leeds have produced some quality. And I think Daniel Farke's a good manager as well. Again, I think this is another mid-table case, as a lot of these are. And it really depends. Again, like they've got a fair bit of attacking threat. I think that's what their strength relies on their attacking threat. But apart from that, you don't really see too much going backwards. It's not. They're a squad that will rely on that. They're not going to be defensively as strong, but attacking wise, yeah. So I think because of that, and based off the other teams, Leeds. I think Leeds will. I think they'll almost. No, they'll be around mid-table. They're not gonna surpass everyone, but they'll definitely be strong. They'll be strong. All right, Liverpool. Liverpool's winning. Liverpool is winning. It's gonna be a tight one. I can't see many Premier Leagues getting. I can't see him being as dominant in points anymore. I think that ship sailed. That era's ended. Liverpool, their team's just like, I think Iraola is just gonna. It's a change we needed. Look, Slot. You can say what you want about Slot. He won Premier League in his first season. His football was very boring, even as a Liverpool fan. I'm not just putting them there, but they're gonna win. They've got. I think they're hungry. They've got a lot to prove on last season. Losing Salah will be a big loss, but the team's strong, and I think it's time Rio Ngamoa steps up. If he can step up, Ekitike when he's back from injury. I don't think we need just Gakpo's Gakpo. He's not great. I think Chiesa, Rio Ngamoa gonna have to step up. They can step up straight, yeah, they're gonna win. But our squad is very strong. Liverpool will win. Anyways, not much more needs to be said about that. Manchester United. Come on. Manchester United lost to Wrexham yesterday. Today. Oh, Man United is a joke. Man United is a joke. It's not it. But they did alright last season. I think Man United, they'll finish. I don't know where to put them, you know, because they did well like the end of last season. But at the same time, I think they're such a mid squad. Like collectively, the squad is just so mid. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of people, a lot of things need to change. They need to stick with the coach. Man United, I can't see them finishing in the top 6. I think they'll finish just outside, number 7. They're going to finish outside. Man City will finish second. Oh, yeah. Nah. I guess actually no, they're gonna finish third. Chelsea's gonna finish above them. I think Chelsea's potential. City have made some good signings, but taking Elliot Anderson. Again, they're quite dangerous. Haaland's Haaland. Like, you don't need to say anything about Haaland. Doku on his day, very deadly, very deadly. One of the best dribblers you'll see. Their squad's just extremely strong. It's extremely, extremely strong. Mark Gui, like Ruben, like they've just got, and even Nico O'Reilly starting for England. Like, it's not. I think they're gonna be good. They're gonna be hard to beat, but Liverpool and Chelsea will finish second. Newcastle United. That's an interesting team. Newcastle United are an interesting team. They have potential to do so well. And I think, was it last season they didn't particularly, run with the wind. They just, yeah. Look, losing Anthony Gordon as well is to Barca in recent times. Like, it's, yeah. And Guimaraes is probably going to leave. Their squad's good. But I think they'll finish sixth. They'll make yeah. Whether they make Champions League, I don't know. Like, they could mean they could be running for it, but I just think they'll finish sixth. They'll finish behind. So that's it. That's your top. Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Arsenal. Arsenal finished fourth. Villa, Newcastle United. That's your top six for next season. That is your top six. Now, Forest. Yeah, their squad's not bad, I think they had not a great season, but their team is pretty strong. I think Forest will be a hard team to beat. I think Forest also. I think they'll beat. So here's where I want to change things up, because I think Forest genuinely could go up in this top six. They could go there, not second. They could go there. But I think they'll finish. They'll do well, but they're not gonna. No, you know what? No, they'll beat United. United will finish 8th. United will finish 8th. The squad's not going to click. Forest. I've got players before me as well. Chris, the big New Zealand man, Dan and Doy at the World Cup. Again, Switzerland getting robbed. They should still be in. But their squad's like strong. They got, your Morgan Gibbs Whites, your McAtees, Ryan Yates, like Dominguez, like they all, Sangari, like their midfield very, very strong. Their attack is pretty strong. Igor Jesus, I rate Forest, I do. And they've got an overall solid squad. Actually, you know what? They're finishing top 6. Newcastle United will finish 7th. Manchester United will finish 8th. All right, Sunderland. Interesting, Sunderland. Sunderland's squad, I think they've got a lot of talent. They do. They got a lot of talent. Getting led by the big man Granit Xhaka, but Brian probably a World Cup. I think he's had a couple of right games. Him on his day is pretty good. I don't think they'll do as well as they did last season. I think they'll be too fixated on their competition in Europe. I think they'll be too fixated on the Conference League, if that's what they're, or is it Europe? No, I can't. Anyways, they'll be too fixated on having their Europa, like their time in Europe. they're not going to finish very highly. They'll finish near the bottom. They won't get relegated, but they'll finish near the bottom. Spurs. Spurs are going down. Spurs are going down. If last season didn't say enough, then I don't know what will. I think Spurs are an unfixable club. They're just... Spurs are a joke, and everybody wants to see Spurs get relegated. And I think... Look, if it doesn't happen... Again, they've just spent... Yeah. They're just not... They're not... The loss of Big Ange is too... It's too dear. The squad... actually... The squad defensively is good. They have made some good signings, but it's just Spurs. Oh, they won't get relegated. The squad's stronger than I thought, and they're performing even at the World Cup. But no, they'll finish. They'll be like a 13. They're not going to storm the competition. They'll be. Oh. But the thing is, it's with their form. If they form, they could. This could go either way. It could be either way. It very much could be either way. They'll be near the bottom, that's for sure. We'll go. Oh. No, they'll be near the bottom. Yeah. I'll finish around there. What's that? That's for the top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Yeah, I think 14 is reasonable for Spurs. They got a good squad, but they just don't have what it takes. And I don't know how they've been classed as a Big Six club. I think maybe they did all right in the past. You know, just continuously being in that Big Six position, like top 6 every year. But every other team in the top 6, again, you see like wins. Or the Big Six, sorry, they've all won. They've all like been dominant. I think Spurs were always in the conversation because they were just up there. They never were that. Yeah. Anyways, now that comes last to last. Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town will finish second last. I think Hull's going. They're all the same 3. They're all going straight back down. I don't even think there's any question about it. They're going down. Yeah, it's. Look, again, I don't think these teams coming up, I think they find it very difficult to stay up. And it's just, yeah, they don't. Like, was the squad? Well, looking at their squad as well. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're you know what, they could even finish last, but they'll finish in the bottom 3. So that's my prediction. Liverpool will win it. Chelsea, 2nd. Man City, 3rd. Arsenal, 4th. Aston Villa, 5th. Forest, 6th. Newcastle, 7th. Man United, Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth. Yeah, you can say that's my prediction. So going from obviously top to bottom, that's how it's all going to pan out. Liverpool will be the champions. They're going to be the champions. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Not even being biased, but it's just going to happen. I think it's going to be, most Big Six will say the same, but it's all going to switch around. But the season just around the corner as well, so got to get ready. Anyways, that concludes this video. Let me know your thoughts, but this is, mark my words, it's going to finish like this. It will. Well, that concludes this video. I think that's my prediction for the 2026-2027 Premier League table. Now, obviously it's top to bottom, as said before, so leave a comment below if you think I'm way off or if you think that there's things to change or, you know, controversial opinions. Open to hear them all, but this is how I think it's going to pan out. And, yeah, not much more needs to be said for that.